This practice is all about finding the balance and not finding the balance, challenging yourself to fall and it be okay. Let's get yogaing. We're coming to a child's pose at the back of the mat. So lay your knees as wide as the mat, ease your bum back towards your heels and stretch your arms out long in front. Maybe lowering the forehead towards the earth, sinking the hips back behind you. Wherever they are, they don't need to be sitting on your heels. And just start to take some deep breaths here. Just moving yourself from whatever you were doing before into the here and now. We may be through a screen from each other and maybe not at the same time. But just connecting here with me. Finding your breath. Now today I'm going to focus a bit on balance. And as I say that, I want you to notice what your reaction is. Because I know mine. If a teacher says today we're going to be working on balance, immediately my mind starts to say, oh no, fear, I can't do this. I can't balance. Balance is scary. I just want you to notice if your mind does say that or say anything different from that. Balance brings out something really nice in terms of vulnerability, because it's scary. We're not stable, we're not grounded, we don't have kind of all of our limbs maybe on the floor or in a place that makes us steady, which often aligns with life, right? Sometimes we don't have all our ducks in a row and things where we want them. But actually being in that kind of fragile, vulnerable position, you can find not only some balance, but also that you don't have to be balanced. You don't always have to stay up there on one leg rocking it. You fall and what's the worst that happens, right? So just go into this with a playful mind. See how we go. So really gently bring yourself up onto all fours. Hands stacked under shoulders, knees under hips. We're going to move through a cat-cow. So start to dip your belly, rise your head on the inhale. Exhale to press the spine up, scooping everything up. I just want you to think as you're moving through this of how you are normally as a person. Are you a person that is really frantic and wants to do everything? And this doesn't have to be you as a person forever. At the moment, are you feeling frantic? Or are you feeling kind of sluggish or maybe just relaxed and slow in things? And whatever you are at the moment, I want you to kind of do the opposite with your cat-cow. So maybe slowing down your cat-cow if you're someone who is moving fast at the moment and is trying to get things done. Slowing it down. If you're someone who's feeling a little more relaxed and steady at the moment, maybe finding a bit more pace. Because finding the balance, right, with that, we don't just have to be speeding ahead or slowing down. And then walking your hands a little bit in front of the shoulders, tucking the toes and finding a downward facing dog, that upside down V. Just pressing your hands wide, giving yourself a strong and steady foundation here. In order to balance in a specific way, we need to give ourselves a strong foundation. So spreading your fingers wide, releasing the weight back into your heels. Taking a couple of deep breaths. Really allowing yourself to sink here. And then walking to the top of your mat, 1 foot at a time, all the way up towards your hands, feet hip width. Tuck your chin into your chest and slowly roll all the way up. Head is last thing to come up. Arms come high, and exhale to bring them wide as you press the hips back. Let's find some salutations to wake us up a little. Inhaling to bring hands to your shins, find a half lift. Exhale to release and step your right and left foot back to your downward facing dog. Now as you inhale, kind of press up through your back as you circle your way over into your plank, making sure that wrists are stacked under shoulders, and lower your knees. Exhale your body all the way down to the ground. Inhale to press into your hands as you find a little lift, a cobra here. And exhale to come all the way back down to the mat. Inhale to press up to your knees, tuck your toes, and lift your hips high, downward facing dog. As you inhale, lift your right leg, maybe through a jungle like me, through the plants, and then exhale it through between your hands. Plant that left hand and inhale to rise your right arm, finding a twist. Curl the right hip back as you do this. Then exhale to plant the right hand around the foot and step that back foot all the way up to meet the front. Feet are hip width apart. Inhale to find your half lift, hands to shins, press that bum back as you find the straight spine, and exhale to fold down, forward fold. Inhale, we rise, arms high, all the way up. Exhale to take it straight back down, circling them down as you press the hips back. Inhale to find that half lift, hands to shins. Exhale to release it down, step left and right foot back to downward facing dog. Inhale to press up through your back as you circle your way over into your plank. Lower your knees and then lower the body, pressing the elbows back behind you all the way to the floor. Inhale to press into your spread fingers as you find your cobra, maybe a little higher this time, rolling the shoulders back, pressing hips down into the mat, and exhale to release back down. Inhaling up to knees, tucking toes, and finding a downward facing dog. Taking a couple of breaths here, finding that strong foundation again, that strong setup ready to balance. Inhale to rise your left leg through leaves. I'm so sorry, Mr. Plant. And bring your foot all the way through between your hands. Right hand cements to the ground as you lift left arm to find that twist. Roll that left hip back as you open up to the side. And then bring the left hand around the front foot, step all the way up to the front. Inhale to find a half lift, bringing hands to shins. Exhale to release it down, and inhale, rise all the way up. Hands above the head. Exhale your hands through heart center, and just take your hands to your side. Palms facing forward, a little bend in the knees. Maybe just closing your eyes. Feeling maybe some new energy shooting up and through the body. Just resetting yourself. And feeling the balance that it takes to just be here, standing, right? If you close your eyes, your feet are moving or your body is moving to constantly keep you balanced. Tiny little movements, but it's there. If the eyes are closed, gently blink them open. Inhale to rise the arms all the way up. Exhale to send the hips back as you fold. all the way down. Inhale to find a half lift, bringing the hands to the shins. Exhale to release. Step right and left foot back to downward facing dog. Now as you inhale, rise your right leg and bend the knee, opening up the hip. Press the knee up to the sky. Then exhale to step your foot through between the hands. And keep your hands to the floor just for a second. Make sure there's a bit of space between your feet. And then you're going to bring your hands out to a T, out to the side. And just look down at your foot and see the kind of little wiggles of the ankle, right? I hope there's wiggles in yours. There's definitely wiggles in mine. As your body just tries to keep you there. It tries to keep you in the same place. It's helping you to balance. You can see it so visibly. And then exhale to gently lower your back knee. And I want you to take your arms back behind you, maybe untuck your back toe and straighten that front leg. Now you can always bring your hands to the ground here or to blocks as you straighten this front leg. You might bring the toes up towards you, or you may stay and find a bit of balance here as you take the arms back behind you, little fingers pointing up. This straight leg does not have to be completely straight, but just straightening, wrapping that right hip back behind you. And really opening the chest here. So if you're on the blocks, you've still got a little lift in the chest. Yeah, lovely. We're heating up now. Well, I am. Now gently move forward, so bend through back to that leg, maybe getting rid of your blocks. Just gonna have a little play. This is hard, this is really hard. You're meant to kind of fall over and wobble, and hopefully it then gets you to get rid of it, right? Like we've already fallen over once, so it's cool. Whatever happens, it's fine. So this right leg is in front of you. You might wanna come up onto the tiptoes. So playing a bit with the balance, you can bring your arms out to the side to act as wings. And then maybe lift this right foot. Now you can see I'm moving my arms quite a lot to keep myself lifted. And that might be what you do too. Maybe lifting them up to the sky. Trying to find one steady spot in front of you to gaze upon. And just playing with this balance. You might fall and you just pick it back up. Yes. Just playing with the balance. You can always come back to just the toes on the earth. Which is not a just, it's still a balance. It's still challenging. Finding something that challenges you. And then step the foot down. I know, a bit of fun, right? Curl the back toes under and lift your back knee. And I want you to ground your foot into warrior two. So back toes are pointing to the long edge of the mat, leaning into this front leg, knee pointing over little toe edge as you send the arms out to the side. Lovely, just breathing here and finding your stability here. How does this feel now that your feet are flat on the floor? You're still in a line, you're still not in a kind of other steady postures like a child's pose or even a squat where you're kind of very symmetrical. But feel the balance here as the soles of your feet give you that ability to stand up, your arms wide. Now turn to face the front of the mat. You can turn your toes to almost find a lunge here. Arms coming straight up. Press into the right foot and lift your left knee up into your chest. Oh yes. So a fair bit of balance there. Now maybe you then cross this ankle. You can stay here. So you can stay with your leg lifted, or maybe crossing the ankle across the thigh, opening that knee up and pressing your bum back, finding a little seat here, taking your arms as wide as they need to be. Oh yes. Good old balance. Finding that thing to gaze upon, not putting yourself under enormous amounts of pressure. Wherever you are, however many times you need to come and find this balance again. And then plant this foot all the way down. Keep a bend in the knees. So your feet are hip width, but you're in this chair pose, reaching your bum back. We're still working into the legs. A gentle tuck of your tailbone, even as you're pushing the bum back. And then inhale to stand it all the way up. Bring your hands to heart center. And shake it off. Shake it off. Yeah? Switched on. We do have to do it the other side. There are no ifs and buts about it. But have a play. Again, allow this standing moment in your Tadasana, your mountain pose, strong, stable posture, balanced again, to just bring yourself back into the present. Let's see what shows up on the other side. So inhale to lift the arms. Exhale to fold. Bending, pressing the bum back behind you. Inhale, hands come to shins, find your half lift. Exhale to release, step left and right foot back to your downward facing dog. Now as you inhale, lift left leg high and open the hip. So bending the knee, pressing that knee up to the sky. Really opening up the hip, and then step the foot between the hands. Just adjust your feet a little while your hands are still on the ground, maybe finding a little bit of space between them. Give you more of a chance, right? Like on train tracks versus a tightrope. We're not asking you to be on a tightrope here. And then starting to lift the arms into that T shape. Watching that front ankle as it does everything it can to try and keep you balanced and staying up. Pressing that right heel back behind you. Just watching how the bones and the tendons all flicker. Staying here for one more breath. And then grounding that back knee, maybe keeping the arms risen, untucking the toes as you straighten that front leg, sending the arms back behind you, little fingers up. Yeah, remembering you can always come to those blocks around your leg. And breathing here. It is a balance. It is challenging. Keeping the chest risen wherever you are. A little rise in the chest. And then bending into that front leg. It's time to find a bit more balance. You might want to just adjust slightly to give you stability in the first place. Your left leg might come a little closer in. And then here we go. So maybe lifting onto the left toes, taking the arms out, giving yourself some stability with your arms. And then maybe lifting that foot. Doing whatever you need to do with your arms to keep you balanced. Gazing at a still spot in front of you. So probably not me. Not still currently. Doing everything I can to stay balanced here. And you might come down, you might come back up. Just finding this playtime. Treat it as a game. It's not serious, I promise. And then planting the foot back down. We're going to tuck the back toes this time. Rise the knee and ground that back foot, finding your warrior two. Spreading those arms out wide. So once more, finding this steady pose. Stretching the arms. Bending that front leg over the little toe side of the foot. Rolling the shoulders. Back and down. Stretching out through the fingers. I mean, I'm a bit puffed. I hope you're a bit puffed. Oh dear. Good old humans, wanting everyone to be in the same position, right? Whatever you are, puffed or unpuffed. It's a pleasure to meet you. Gently stretching out the fingers, right. We're twisting to the front to find a lunge. So just turning those back toes so that the heel's pointing towards the back of the room. And then the weight's coming into this left leg as you pull right knee into the chest and maybe into a plant. I'm so sorry, Hank, the plant. Getting a lot of abuse today. Lifting that knee into the chest. And either staying here or planting that right ankle over the left thigh and sitting back. Yes. Really sitting back as far as you can, maybe opening up the arms. Keep the breath moving here as you stand on one leg. And then gently pulling the knee back into the chest, and wherever you are, you're taking the feet hip width apart but bending into the legs, finding that Utkatasana, that chair pose, stretching the bum back behind you. You can open these arms if that feels too restrictive on the shoulders. Open them wide. One more breath here. Can you sit a little lower? And then inhale to rise. Bring your hands down through heart center and shake it off. Oh. Right, that's it. Upstanding, upstanding, upstanding citizen. That's it. That's it as in us standing. We're going to make our way to our backs. Well done. So inhale to rise your arms high. Exhale to fold. Press back through the hips as you wind it all the way down. Inhale, hands come to shins. Find a half lift, maybe in your planche like I. Exhale to release. Step right and left foot back to downward facing dog. Now just take a gentle hop or step of your feet into the center to find a seat. And we're going to lay the soles of the feet down on the earth. Gently exhaling to roll yourself down. Moving any blocks that may be in your way. Now snuggle your feet towards you so that you can just about touch the ankles and press the palms of the hands into the mat. And as you inhale, just start to lift your hips, pressing them up. Almost feeling like your ankles are trying to come back towards your body. So your heels are like pushing towards you. There's this energy between them as you press the hips high. And just stay here for this one. We're going to snuggle the shoulder blades under as we go through this a couple more times. But just stay here for this one. Pressing the bum up, feeling how much lift you can get without snuggling the shoulders underneath. And then exhale to gently lower and just bring your feet as wide as the mat and bring the knees in towards each other. And just connect your right hand with your belly, left hand with your heart. Maybe closing the eyes. Just take a couple of breaths before we set up for the next. How does it feel now to be more stable to the earth? And then bring your feet back in, hip width apart. Press the palms of the hands into your mat. And inhale to slowly lift the hips. Maybe this time reaching as far as you can and then snuggling shoulders underneath where you could clasp your hands together. Just giving you a little more of a lift. Pressing your bum up towards the ceiling. Pressing your hips. There's a little tuck of the chin here. And then exhale to slowly lower it down. Wiggling your shoulders out. Bringing your feet as wide as the mat, knees knocked in. Right hand to belly, left hand to heart. Just reset it. If you are one of those people who's lots of energy at the moment, ready to go on to the next thing, just try and be here. It's okay if you're not. It's okay if you're thinking about that long list of other things you've got to do and are frustrated because we're not moving all that much. But just be here. And gently opening the eyes. We've got one more like this. So we're placing the feet back hip width apart, pressing the palms of the palms of the hands into the earth, and gently rising the hips as high as you can, then maybe snuggling shoulders underneath, thinking about those heels dragging back towards the body, really switching that energy on in the legs, pressing the hips a little higher. Can you get any higher here? One more breath. And then exhaling to lower it down, unsnuggling the shoulders. And send the legs out long, arms out wide. Maybe just bringing those shoulder blades underneath you slightly a little. Finding a comfy space, whether that's hands face up and out to the side, or touching the right hand to the belly, left hand to the heart. Wherever feels good to you. And then just letting go. If you've got a bit longer to stay here, then be my guest. Otherwise, just starting to deepen your breath, maybe taking some little movements with fingers, toes. And then stretching your arms above you, stretching the body out long. Bringing the knees into the chest. Maybe tucking your head up to meet them. And then gently making your way over to one side. And in absolutely no rush, pulling yourself up to a seat. And taking one deep breath, bringing your hands to heart center, inhaling through the nose and out through the mouth. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Have a wonderful rest of your day.